Welcome back.
You got get it.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Another episode.
Welcome back.
Astral Stew. So I have no idea what the topic for tonight is going to be. It's
because you were hogging all the topics.
I know.
You made us both jealous.
You are the boss hog of topics.
I am. I have the white suit hanging in the closet.
Well, I may have curated a mind worm or two. I've got two phrases that could lead down different topics.
Okay.
Different holes. Some more than others, as it were. Depending.
Right.
Would you like to hear them both? I can start out
hit me with them.
Or three. Okay. The first is science is a branch of magic.
Okay.
Okay.
I like it.
Not the other way around.
I said inflammatory statements, did I not?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I can go with that. So what's the other one?
Okay. Do you remember chain letters?
Yeah.
Okay. Rocco's basilisk is just a chain letter for the fucking mind.
Well, I don't know what Rocco's basilisk is, so you're going to have to explain that one.
Oh, every video since this is going up on the YouTube as well, on the YouTube. I would be remiss to not give a content warning, because apparently it's one of those thought worms that can really fuck with someone if they're predisposed to being easily fucked with in this way. So just saying that out first. It is the concept that an AI will come to be that is so intelligent that it then rewards the people that help bring it into existence and punishes the people that it didn't.
So kind of like a god, so to speak, in a small way.
Mm-hmm.
Or Serpentor from G.I. Joe.
And now that you've heard this, wait, second part. And now that you've heard this, if you don't help it, you'll get punished. Right? So now that you've heard it.
It's like a ring situation, right?
The chain letter of thoughts. Yeah. The mind worms. Did either of you watch Legion on FX?
I watched a little bit of it.
That's the one that's based off the movie, right?
No.
Oh, you're talking about the X-Men. Sorry, you're talking about X-Men. My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, the TV show I think is called Dominion, but the movie is called Legion, is what I'm thinking.
You're right.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
So
yes, I did watch a little bit of Legion. Yes.
So just for anybody who might be watching, who's of a younger generation, somebody want to explain chain letter?
They still exist. They happen in email.
They happen in
YouTube videos. There's YouTube videos that if you don't share this video or replay it or do it, repost it.
The luck runs out if you don't share it immediately, or your luck
Instagram. Will turn yeah, it's all like if you don't reshare. But back in the day, it was sent through the mail.
Right. Yeah, it was
you would get a letter, a cursed letter that said you have to handwrite it and make 10 copies and pass them on. Otherwise, fate will.
Is that the same thing as the send $1 to 35 people on this list, and then you'll in 6 months they'll all send $1 to you and 35 people and $1
no,
to
Josh, that's called prosperity magic. It's called prosperity scam.
But isn't that
so? Would you like to hear the third one?
Yes.
We really dove into.
Are we gonna talk about any of them yet? Or are we still talking about the topics?
We're just talking about the topics. I haven't got the third one out yet. I mean, because I figured you all could choose which direction we go.
It's like a choose your own psychotic adventure book. I got it.
Third phrase, cryptid peen.
Yeah, because not only cryptid peen.
Did you like how I said peen too? It's not the word I used in the group.
But cryptid.
I had to make it fresh and awful.
Cryptid veen as well as mating habits. We can't mating habits.
But we can't get into female genitalia because we don't have any representation here. I think we should talk about it now and get the male perspective on the penises in the cryptid world, or and then have some girls invited on and get them to talk about get that.
But yeah, hopefully I am curious. I mean, I told you that leads me to think about the mating habits, because it's like, what is there just one Nessie, or has Nessie been beaning another Nessie down below?
A popular paranormal topic is, whoops, I'm pregnant with something paranormal.
Yes, my God,
Wow.
it is. It really
Right?
is.
See?
Man,
Well,
I miss Weekly World News.
Here's your smorgasbord of topics to choose from.
I mean, yeah, I really like the first one, and I like the second one, and I like the third one.
Yeah, you do.
I've been waiting a while to share
So-
one. So here's all the ones so I can get fresh ones for next time. It's my turn.
So, I'm thinking if I get a vote, which I think I do, I think we start with the first one, talk it through. If we still have time, move on to one or the other two, and save the other one for another time. Anybody
Down for
disagree? Down for that?
I'm here for the ride, fellows. I've missed
Okay.
this so much that
All right.
I even brush my hair.
Okay.
Wow. I brush my teeth.
Let's start
So-
then with science is a branch of
Science. Yes.
Science is a branch of magic.
So I gotta say yes, because we always say the science of today is yesterday's magic.
and
So
the
it's still
magic-
just technically magic. We've just rebranded
We just
it.
call it science. Yeah. So
So we've talked about that one. On to the next.
It's almost like alchemy. We broke it down. Yep. So the next one. No.
Joking.
well, I mean, I think I'm aligned with stuff. I mean, I don't know how deep we could take that because, you're right. I mean, the science that we understand today was once magic of the world, and the same thing is true for now that will be for the future.
Well, like I said, yeah, it's been what science is just we figured out how to do it.
Well,
How
but
to
I
make
think,
it repeatable, as repeatable as possible.
and I'm sorry, Santosh. I'm sorry because
You are, but go ahead.
I'm going to take this in a direction that you asked me not to take the next topic.
Oh God,
into.
here comes Jesus.
You're not
Fucking
even
hell.
Christian. That's what's funny.
But
But
Right?
bring on the Christ.
Well, it's
well-
all the fucking church trauma that we've got
Well,
to get.
if I could postulate that,
What about
baby.
pontificate?
Yeah.
Or
so if we could agree that all science is magic at the deepest level, then the accepted science is the Bible, because some group of people got together and said, this is the magic we're going to accept as science.
academia, right there. So
I'm not mad at that.
not
And
mad
it
at
was,
either.
and it was on purpose to say your group of people that think this way.
Yeah,
We want you to know you're not a part of our
right,
circle.
exactly.
Just like the Nicaea, the Council of Nicaea did
Yeah,
to the
right.
to the
Right.
Gnostics.
To the Gnostics.
They're like,
So-
our shit's kind of cool, bro.
Look, we got evil God,
Yeah.
nice God. This is great.
So the people who are just practicing magic or any of the fringe sciences, like I'm a big fan of numerology, right? But that's not really classified in a true science.
Yet Ken Ham's creationist science, Christian history or whatever he calls it, is, that is okay, but
yeah,
you can't not numerology. That's the devil.
We can't get behind that.
but
We
yeah,
can stand here and prophesy, but we can't,
We
be
can't
going
have
to witches.
psychic. Can't have psychic
witches or
moments though.
psychics, but
Yeah, no psychics. Mm-mm.
prophets are okay.
But you can tell the future. It's fine.
prophets are right. Yep.
But the sorry, prophet is always acceptable. The Ferengian meme,
Prophet? Prophet?
Who is that? That sounds like Yoda.
It's a mix.
It's a Grover.
I was
No,
mixing
He's
three
the
things.
only one that had a job.
I was mixing three things together.
Yeah, and it was like 80, 20, 10 or something like that. I don't even. That's 110.
Like
but whatever.
fertilizer.
Oh shit! I forgot I wanted to show you this, Josh.
Yep.
That had that waiting. I can. I can.
Can you hear that? Let me turn it
can.
up for you.
You didn't need to. I heard it.
Girls are both pretty.
So, anyway,
And if neither one of you come back from the ball with the fucking prince on your arm,
so yeah, I mean, other than saying that basically the science, the people who classify science are religious zealots. Is there anything else that we want to talk about? Science?
well, does that make Hawkins a high mage?
What is it? Hawking, the high mage?
A high mage.
Stephen
high mage.
Hawking.
But I would argue that Hawking dabbled a little bit in the non-sciences.
That's why he liked black holes so much. Getting into cryptid penises. No.
Getting into segueing quickly and easily into.
No, but what I was gonna say is I would say not all science though was magic.
Why not?
Didn't it start as healing? That's the medicine branches. Sorry, never mind.
Not all science is magical though.
Science is magic.
No, but
not everything. If we're looking at chemistry, even biology, I'm like,
you worked at a science center. How can you not believe that science is magic?
What about anatomy?
That's magic. It's cutting people open magic to find out what they look like on the inside.
I wouldn't say that's magic though. I just say it's morbid.
Hell,
is cadaver work necromancy?
I mean, look at the.
Okay, you got me on that one.
Look at the original use of the wand. What was that, huh?
Penis.
Pregnate. Oh yeah.
The penis. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, like there are some things. I mean, I feel like
what you're saying.
At its root, like because I think of magic as something created to create a change, right?
Changing the world around you, basically.
Sure. But not all science is that. Some science is simply observation.
True.
You know, like even astronomy, you know, or we're just looking at stars and naming them, right?
Well, but isn't anatomy just changing the world around you at the macro level?
See, to me, anatomy is just part of the driver's manual.
Yeah, it's just to me, it's just a coffee table book. It's like here's the heart, here's the steeple.
But okay, but you're breaking the connection. You're breaking the connection between the physical and the whatever metaphysical.
How so?
Well, if you're looking at the body as just here is a heart, here is a lung, here is a kidney, here's a liver, then you're saying that those things don't have any type of infusion of magical properties. But yet,
so you're saying because everything is made of energy, therefore everything is magic.
Everything is magic. You need to know.
I know that.
Don't you ever say it like that again.
But I mean, is that essentially what you're saying?
Yeah.
Then my point is completely moot because everything is made of magic. So then it doesn't matter. So okay.
I don't like that conclusion, but it is.
Why would you prefer it be something else, or?
Well, of course I'm in it for the superpowers. Like
right.
yoga for a subtle body. No, I want to fucking levitate.
Because it's like I think of geology, right? It's like I think there's an offshoot of geology that is magical because we're looking at healing properties of said stones and things like that, right? But like me just holding up this and saying this is a rock doesn't seem very magic to me. You know, or to say that this is
you're not a geologist.
This is a quartz,
it's just how you describe
crystal. Like, right, this is
but
quartz.
you're not what's the word I'm looking for? Empowered is what I keep coming to mind, but you're not enthused about rocks.
I'm trying not to be on purpose.
But I'm just saying,
try to say that not every piece of science would I have said was the magic of yesterday.
I think magic and science and tech, but science is tech, right? Mm-hmm. They all have that Venn diagram where they exist together. So I guess I have to, at least if that's true, then I have to concede that there's a separate type of bit where if they're not two circles completely overlapping each other. So there logically has to be.
I would agree then. I would agree with that.
Generally, I would say yes. Generally, I would say science is indeed an offshoot of magic, but within everything there are exceptions, right?
Well, this was also to juxtapose that we have a bias towards saying it the other way, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like science, instead of saying science is magic, magic is science, which a lot of the science educators say something very similar to that. Yeah. It's, and science is fucking magical all on its own, but it's just a way of describing the magic that's going on.
Again, I really talk a lot about observational science. Like,
So if I could say, then I agree with Santosh's
zoology is
and now just
zoology is magical.
Talking about the Venn diagrams. So I think that the only way that you can really look at these things then is to look at them on the individual science levels. So you can't take, I don't think necessarily science as a whole, magic as a whole, and Venn diagram them together. I think you have to realize that some things are more heavily overlapping than others.
Yes,
it's like a turtle on top of a rabbit.
That's what I was saying. That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah,
we've all been saying the same thing.
Yeah, it's like it's just as a whole, not all science was magic, is what I was saying.
And so, thus, not all magic is science. And
right. Is there a third Venn diagram? Is it all just magic or science and nothing else?
Magic, science, or penises. That's pretty much all it is.
Or illusion.
Delusion.
Don't trust David Blaine.
I mean, maybe
he's upset some people.
Maybe the anatomy part is the illusion.
The anatomy part is
we're all energy, so it's all just illusion, really. At the end of
our meat mech suit.
But what does energy look like? Is energy the atoms, or is energy something else?
I think energy is what makes up the atom.
I think people try to take. I'm losing the thought.
And every time they try to look at the energy inside the atom, a nuclear bomb goes off because they've split it open.
That's all CERN is just peeking under the garments.
To hopefully not get sued by George Lucas. But I think that, the energy that makes everything up is we are not at a point in our lives where we can measure that level of energy on like a scientific scale. Even the atom that we can see or theorize or even create experiments to reproduce or not reproduce, but to see the effects of, even that is not at the finite or infinite level that I think the energy that makes up the universe is, depending on your viewpoint. So I think that we're not there yet to be able to measure it, but we feel it all the time. It ebbs and flows around us. As
you may not be able to see the wind, but you can see the effects of the wind. Thank you. Thank you. Billy Graham. You're welcome.
What were you going to say, Santosh?
I don't fucking know anymore. Okay. Let's switch topics. I'm done.
Yeah, what's the second one?
Dead to me.
So I've got
necromancy.
I've got a little memory card thing here. So I'm going to flip it. If it lands on the micro SD card side, it's going to be penises, and if it lands on the other side, it's
basilisks.
Penis. Oh, the basilisk thing,
right,
which is also
Oh, it landed straight up like this, like it landed on its edge.
Because we need to cover both. Let's talk about the basilisk.
All right. So basilisks. That's the AI.
I thought experiment about all powerful AI.
Yeah, I mean, this gets different. This is different than Skynet and Terminator, because this is almost kind of more Matrixy in a way.
So what is
if the Matrix rewarded you for helping it?
Well, they did with Cypher.
So what is
the mistake? Mm-hmm.
So what is the goal of this AI?
What is the goal of how could you presume to know?
Why do you need to share it? What is the purpose?
So you won't be punished.
But why?
Because the AI has gotten so powerful. That's what we said earlier, that it has said, I'm going to reward those that helped me, and those that didn't help me shall be punished. I mean, essentially it's Christianity, because it says, hey, if you don't bow down and worship me and accept me as your Lord and Savior and witness to everyone around the world, you're going to hell. And I'm punishing everyone else that didn't follow along with what you said.
Yeah. So those who rail against Christianity will actually rail against the AI. We are the John Connors in this story.
You'd say that, but look how many Christians followed Donald Trump.
Ooh, okay. We can
not to get political, but I mean, I would have never
not to get political, Skynet
thought sweet, nice Christian folks would be okay with with a guy like Donald Trump, and I don't mean Republican or any political anything.
Yeah, just his personality.
His personality, that they would look at him as he's the second coming of Jesus Christ. I never understood that. So
because they never watched him wrestle as a heel.
Yeah. So to answer that question, Josh, is that I don't know that Christians will rail against.
No, I didn't say Christians.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't. I said those who rail against Christianity will rail against the AI.
Can we get a replay?
So those who rail against Christianity will actually rail against the AI. I'll go back and edit it and play it. And then all the comments could be like, yep, yeah, he said that. He said
I'll say I never watched the replay.
But
Schrodinger's replay.
And then because I even said after that, I said, Stefan, you and I are the John Connor of this story. See, because we rail against.
Who's Santosh?
I know, right?
Santosh.
Sarah Connor?
Santosh is Sarah Connor.
That's better than Skynet. Actually, Sarah Connor is badass, but you didn't think of me that way. You just made up for it.
No, I was
I
going there, and Stefan interrupted me with his goddamn Christian Donald Trump.
Damn it!
I think you would be more the guy that slept with Sarah Connor to create John Connor.
Totally go back in time.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Kyle or something?
Kyle. Yeah, Kyle Connor.
That's the whole point. Who remembers that? Nobody.
No, that selfish bitch still gave John her last name, not the guy that died.
I don't think she knew his last name.
It was on his jacket.
Was it?
Yes, the whole fucking movie has got that jacket. His name's right there. I'm about to look it up.
I think, yeah. I'm like, you sure you didn't just Mandela that?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, his name be like Steve.
No, but
I think his first name was Kyle, but I don't remember what his last name was.
Sarah
but really,
Connor.
It's interesting that we can create little brain worms like the chainmail. What is that fucking response with, or not response, but that urge within us, to keep evolving this form of the chain letter?
Right. Yeah. And it does from generation to generation.
Well,
Kyle Reese. His last name is Reese, and it was on his damn coat.
Yep. You're
him
right.
Freaking after her damn self.
Well, it was on his coat because he got it off a guy who worked at Reese's. And it just dropped the S.
I'm out of here.
Them's fighting words.
Look, you look. Come on back. But your thought around the whole chain letter idea, so part of me says it's people's want and need to feel a part of something big, which really is
it does cater to that, yeah.
Like the anthrax.
Like the anthrax.
That's when chain letters stopped.
Yeah.
That is it. That's what killed the anthrax, killed the chain letter.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and flour, but because you get a letter with flour in it, you think it's anthrax.
Oh,
that didn't kill it. That just.
I went somewhere else. I was like, why are you putting flour on a live pig?
You're that guy that cut your cocaine with flour, aren't you?
Yeasty.
I don't know. It's okay. Yeah. You'd be getting little booger biscuits.
So I once was camping with
one time at camp.
Yeah, I was camping with a friend, and I had a big tub of those sour gummy worms. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So like we'd sat there throughout in front of the campfire and ate like the whole thing. And at the bottom of the tub of the gummy worms was all the leftover sugar and sour stuff that had shaken off and fallen to the bottom.
You snorted that.
And so I said to the guy that I was camping with, I said, "Hey, I'll give you $20 if you do a line of that."
That shit hurts. Like I've snorted.
He did.
Pixie sticks. People used to snort pixie sticks.
But
I tried it.
But this stuff is rougher. This stuff is like fucking coarse grain.
Rougher. See, that would. You said that like you've sniffed both these things now, and that's the thing.
No,
that I'm aware of.
But I did once pay a guy to sniff a line of Dustinator that they use at Papa John's to make their pizza doughs too.
I've had someone cut a line of Coke off my ass.
I snorted Banaka when I was in 7th grade on a bet.
What is Banaka?
That thing.
Oh,
yep. I went, and my eyeball went, and I was like, ugh!
Is it the Banaka, that character on the Street Fighter?
That's Blanca. But there is a Banaka on Star Wars. It's the pilot for Padme. Captain.
Yeah. Nice.
But speaking of
breath of fresh air.
Speaking of rough things entering your system, let's move on to Cryptid Peen.
Cryptid Peen.
Because I never thought about it before until you had to say something. But now I'm like, I would assume that Sasquatch would have a giant dong.
Right.
But in no pictures do you see a dong. It's like Chewbacca.
Like, so they get half chub? Like,
or are they like dogs where it's like a red rocket?
Half chub. Yeah, right.
Or like a horse.
That's what I was always worried about, like the werewolf that can morph different parts of your body.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's somebody.
Or, yeah, like he said, like a horse dick.
Like a horse dick.
The way you just said it there was such conviction.
We're talking about cryptid dick now. Well, but that's what I was going to ask that. Does the Jersey Devil have a horse cock?
Well, I mean, it's a donkey.
It's a donkey dick.
It's a donkey dick.
It's a mixture of all kinds of things. So who knows? It could be a whale, It
could be scaly for all we know. It could be a whale. Oh, I meant to. Oh,
he could lay eggs.
I can show you something, or you can just believe me from me saying it. In looking up cryptid cock, I came across things that almost like killed me. Like, but I can't share screen because we're going to put this up, right? So I will tell you what I found. That whales like to. It says that whales like to put their penises out of the water, and there's a picture of a whale dong, and guess what it looks like? The Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that before.
What if the Loch Ness Monster is just whale peen?
Yeah, I've heard that before too, and people were like, "Oh, look at that whale's tongue," and they're like, "That's not his tongue." We had briefly talked about what a were-duck's penis would look like.
Right? That would have to be freaky
because duck's penis is a spiral, as a corkscrew. So what if it a were? And then if it's a were creature, and I prefer the were creatures to be like half man, half animal, right? Where they have human features as well. So then the question goes: is the penis fully the animal, or fully the human, or somewhere in between?
What would Lion-O's dick look like?
I think his looks like a normal dick. I think it'll look, but it's got spots on it.
But it's got spots. Is it fuzzy like the rest of him?
Oh, it's fuzzy. Yeah. And he's got spots on it from Chitara.
And we're not sponsored, but check out Bad Dragon. And that's enough said about that.
Okay. Yeah. But what about mating habits though? Like I did want to bring that up. Like I said, cryptid mating habits, because if we assume that they're not purely magical and just manifested from the mind, and they are indeed cryptozoological, what are the mating habits? Why do we not see these things? Like, again, Nessie.
Well, I mean, I think we were talking about it sometime, Stefan. You and I were talking about it, and I can't remember when, but maybe the only time you see Nessie is when it has traveled from wherever in the deep to go to mating grounds, because we
were wondering, are there like
season.
are there underwater, aquifers that it travels, etc.
So, I mean, is it true for a lot of these things? I mean, every other animal except for humans follows a specific route during mating season, mates, and then leaves and goes and does whatever it needs to do, and then goes back to a specific place.
Goes to the bar, goes to the bathroom, checks Grindr
100 times.
Mating habits still happen.
Yeah, I'm right. That's like I don't think different.
Just do the only times that we see Sasquatch is because they're coming out for mating season.
Maybe. Foraging.
But where were they all? I had Sasquatch's baby. Like there used to be a lot more like
I know. Where's the
babies?
Where's the halvesies at? Like, just
a question to me. I don't know.
It's like the only thing we got left.
What'd you do with them, Josh?
Do we got Nephilim? Is that all we got left? Our cryptids Nephilim? Like, what? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it makes you wonder if the halvesies over time, if they've just been genetically bred down and now they're just really hairy people.
I mean, well, and also thinking about like how sexless the Greys are and the androgyny built in that would be easily pilotable by any sex that they might have. Mm-hmm. They had.
Well, I think we're also
hung up on human genitalia.
Right. Well, when we're taking everything that we understand around reproduction as we've seen it in our natural world and trying to apply that to the paranormal world. And I mean, who knows? Greys may just divide like cells. I mean, who knows?
Or asexual. Or I just read something.
Or someone pees on their belly button and gets them pregnant.
Done that. And I just read an article recently. They found something. I don't remember if it was plant or animal or biological or whatever, but it was like said that they had found something that had 3 sexes to it, that there was a third sex that was created. I only saw the headline. I never got to read the whole thing. But it was from like a scientific journal. So it was like legit, but yeah, it was like that something has developed a third sex. And so it had all 3 and all 3 were needed for reproduction.
Well, I think about the Bashar guy. I am Bashar. The channel's Bashar.
I'm excited to see how you go to Bashar from here.
If you listen to his account of where the Greys and a lot of the Greys come from, it's because over the years they used to be humans, and over the years they manipulated. I can't look at you guys and talk about it. Manipulated.
Go on.
Their genetic code to the point that they pretty much like removed any like form of humanity from themselves, and it left them looking like the Greys. And now they're all pod born. They're basically grown in a petri dish and cloned into existence. And so the reason they're coming back to us now in our timeline is because they need to harvest viable genetic material to save their race.
You've brought that up before. I remember now.
Well, and then we recently were given a theory that the Greys were what were they? They were
they were hybrids with the Darrow.
Thank you. With the Darrow, which comes from the Shaver mystery, from the Hollow Earth, the bad guys down there, but they didn't know what the other half was.
But
and technically, then we've got cryptids out there along that line that have the exact copies of our reproductive system.
Yeah. Well, and then you do have things like the Jersey Devil who were just created, so to speak, into existence. I mean, didn't the Jersey just pop out of the fire during that pregnancy, or no? It was
he was born.
That's right. He was impregnated by the devil. That's what it was.
Well, she was impregnated. The story goes that she was impregnated by the devil.
You weren't there.
I'm pretty sure I researched it and covered on the.
I wish the Jersey Devil wasn't still on vacation, because I'd ask him. He's still on vacation though. He went back to Jersey for a couple weeks.
Well, it's nicer this time of year. But anyways, then like she gave birth right after birth is when he exhibited all his mutations and all this kind of stuff.
That's right. I got it wrong. I admit it.
What if there's a form of lycanthropy where only your penis turns?
Only your penis.
I think I've seen a dirty movie. I think I've seen a dirty movie that had that.
So when I fill out the stuff for this YouTube video, I'm going to make sure that it's only made for 18 plus. So
yes. We've done our damnedest to demonetize this.
Wear dick.
Wear dick.
You just wear the dick.
Hold on.
Wear the dick.
Wait. Though that's lycanthropy biased though. It's therianthrop, so it's therianthrop cock. We gotta be.
It's a furry basilisk, is all I know.
I wrote down 2
that's
jokes
the
I thought
show
you were gonna make, and it wasn't on there. You surprised me. I thought for sure you were gonna go with Rocco's Modern Life.
I was, but Josh jumped in and asked first, so I didn't get a chance to. But Rocco's Modern Life was indeed in the old cantankerous head.
So here's the question for you. What if we all wear whatever in our
of apes
in our current form?
Yeah, like what if we evolve? I guess would you consider it evolving when the change happens?
Depends on what you're turning into.
Yeah, it depends.
Because I'm saying, like in the Mario Brothers movie, that was a de-evolution.
Well, if you think about it, though, so evolution is just changing of your self to meet a new set of conditions or requirements. And so, if you change into a werewolf, because you need to hunt human flesh, then really it's still an evolution, even though you would think of it as a de-evolution because of where we were.
Well, no, I mean, when you're changing back to human, is that de-evolving?
Oh, you're just taking off the fur coat. Okay. Mm-hmm. I bet there's a furry word for that.
Because what I was going to say is like, well, are we were-humans, right? Are gorillas or apes or whatever the normal, but we have changed from the full moon.
We're all Neanderthals, but we're were-humans because of
Yep. That's why I'm talking about.
Sapien, because of the sapiens.
Neander short.
You are Neander short. That's why we started that GoFundMe.
I gotta go.
It's gone again.
Good night, Stefan.
I don't know what it's gonna look like. It was gonna be like bump, 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 like the videos.
I don't know how it's gonna move you around. So,
but no, I just, as much as we're joking about like mating habits and genitalia of cryptids and stuff, I seriously, like, there's a part of me that wants to hit up Ken Gerhardt, our buddy that's the cryptozoologist that we had, not my cousin, and I want to be like, have you seen any cryptid peen, Ken? This is a
please
weird
ask on my behalf. Yes,
it's a weird. But you know, he's been asked.
Oh, of course. And how cool would it be to travel the country and just log different cryptid penis? Like, that's what you log of all the sightings, everything. You only record.
So this is not really necessarily related to reproduction, but it begs the question: do Sasquatch shit in the woods? Do
Sasquatch get dingleberries more?
Do we ever collect Sasquatch scat? You know what I'm saying? We collect footprints and fur.
What if they don't shit? What if it recycles?
Yeah.
What if
they just turn it into bad breath?
What if it just looks like human poop? And then
that's where they get the beef jerky from.
Well, I'm not making a joke here. What if it just looks like human poop and we discount it, but really we should be taking notice that in the area where we saw a Bigfoot sighting, there was human feces found, and that would give us some indication.
Take samples of the human-looking duty when we're going around, do it.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
here's the thing, man. My dog, he's 40 pounds and he shits bigger than I do. So I don't know how to judge it, because to be honest with you, because I right away, I want to say, man, this dog did this Sasquatch is going to have a shit twice the size of mine. But then our other dog that we used to have shat half the size, and he was fucking almost 100 pounds. So I'm like, I don't know.
But like people who are wilderness people, like that's their, for lack of a better term, bread and butter, right?
Well, and then it's not just Sasquatch, all of them. I mean, all them cryptids, cryptids out there. I think people would just discount it as bear shit. I've never seen bear shit. Does a bear shit in the woods?
Kentucky goblins would poop runny.
Oh yeah. They'll never eat anything solid.
It's fucking greasy as all hell.
I can't believe I'm about to Google bear shit. Like, oh my God.
Clear your history later.
That looks like human shit with berries in it. There's a picture of a bear shitting.
Does it look like a dog shit?
It does, yeah. It's pretty funny. And it says, well, I guess that answers that. Oh, man. Oh, so this dude put his foot right next to a pile of bear shit, and it's bigger than his foot, and he says he wears a size 13.
Damn.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of there now. I'm like, I think it may just get mistaken for any other larger animals.
Well, and any attempt to cover it minimally would be considered an even more human thing, right? Because animals wouldn't cover it up. So anything that looked like it was partially covered as well would be automatically dismissed as human.
Scoop a big hole and shit in the hole. We don't know.
Maybe they take it back to wherever they came from.
Maybe that's what that knocking sound that they make is. It's just them taking their 1 year shit.
Yeah. Or they're wiping their ass on a tree. Like,
That's it.
Well, that's what the cross trees are. They're a throne for them to sit on and drop their load.
They're like, I just don't like to be watched. Man, I don't know. I never thought about that. I was even going to go somewhere else with the cryptid thing, but that's got me thinking now. I'm like,
About Squatch duties.
well, not just Squatch duties, like other cryptids as well. Like, you know, it's like, does Mothman, if he's more of a bird creature, you just get splashed, your car gets splashed. Like,
well, Mothman has to get out of the suit. So
surely there's some sort of lavatory conditions going on in an advanced suit, right?
Yeah.
True. Yeah. And I was going to say they could scoop up their own shit. The Sasquatch for fertilizer. I feel like they could probably plant.
Well, and Sasquatch seem to be, based on all accounts, territorial in nature, which makes me think that they would use their shit to smear around to like mark their territory.
Yeah, well, depending on what they eat is maybe what it smells like. But the other thing I was going to say is to walk away from the shit comments. If you transform into a creature, if you were human and you transform into a creature, is that a cryptid? Or is a cryptid simply something that is already that state?
So if you were munching on a human and turned back midway, would you lose the ability to digest the people like you were when you were in like
right, because would you
form?
if you were
Well,
and that's what I'm saying. It's like if you were human first, right? And you
so
got bitten.
No, you're not a cryptid then.
You're not a cryptid if you turn into it.
If you turn into it, you're not a cryptid. It's something.
So then
else.
what is that then? Just a monster?
I don't like the word monster. It has a negative connotation.
Well, magical means or like victim survivor, like that.
Yeah.
That.
Well, trope. I mean, if you could argue that the act of turning into something is almost cursed, and so you're cursed to be a cryptid.
Well, I mean, yeah, the werewolf movie, it's a curse, even Dracula really at the end of the day is kind of a curse that Dracula started.
So are you cursed to be a cryptid for some period of your life?
I don't know, because I know a lot of the creatures that we talk about. I mean, the melon heads were essentially psych patients that turned into creatures,
So if two therianthropes got together and they had a baby and the baby couldn't turn back, is the baby now a cryptid?
Yeah.
So a cryptid can be born of two non-cryptid parents.
I mean,
I guess, yeah.
It's like not a mudblood. What do they call them when they can't in Harry Potter?
I think it's
when they have two.
They call it a mule.
Two magical parents and the creature.
Oh, the
squib.
Yeah. But I mean, if you think about it, though, I mean that's how if you go down the evolutionary, the theory of evolution, if you go down that track, then that's how all new species came into being. Is two previous species birthed the next species in evolution. So if two halftime cryptids birth and then that new thing becomes a full-time cryptid, it's just the next evolution.
But if it stays a half, then it's not a cryptid by your account.
Yeah, because
cursed parents have a cryptid baby.
Right.
Regardless, I want to do some more research to see if humans that change into creatures are considered cryptids or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now that one I'd be okay asking Ken about.
What if you ate whatever you wanted to when you were all? I'm just gonna have to use the word "wear." I can't keep up with.
I know.
Anthrop all the time. When you were all weared out, I'm more concerned about what your duty is going to be like the next morning. Like, will you still have the taste of blood in your mouth? Would you still when you turn back, would you have half of a cow digesting in there?
Yeah. What all change? Like, what happens? Where does it go?
So
and can we just call them lycanthropes?
That's still werewolf based.
Yeah.
So can I pose a different question then?
Please.
This kind of harkens back to our celebrity meat conversation, but
it always does.
Does the human body possess everything it needs to be able to digest whatever you eat? We can't get past the mind. So whatever you wear into, to use the terms, that pushes down the thinking part of your brain to be able to eat whatever. It doesn't matter. The body can still digest it.
You think that the body has supernatural abilities to eat that are unlocked by that?
But even then, I'm talking about like, I got a banana shaped stomach. Okay. If I turn into a werewolf, I now have a plantain shaped stomach. Okay.
No.
Or does it turn into a fully functioning?
Right. And so if I
stomach?
eat something take my stomach out of the equation, but let's say I turn into a were hippopotamus and now I've got a stomach this big and I've eaten something that fills that, but then I turn back and I haven't digested it yet. Does my stomach just rip open?
You have to turn when you've got an empty stomach because it won't turn what's not digested.
So,
because they always seem to go to sleep when they're full. Like in the movie.
Well, yeah.
Food coma.
If you just ate a cow, you'd go to sleep too.
Or what if you turn into a were-cow and all of a sudden you got 4 stomachs? Like what happens?
A whole lot of chewing.
But see, like in that scenario, you are fully that other thing. But you just like 25 minutes ago, because we've been on this topic that long, you said that you think about were people as a mixture of the animal and the person.
No. I said, are they a mixture of? I said it. Well, yeah, I said I like them that way in movies better than just turning into a wolf. That's what I meant by that. Is because I wanted to talk about their penis. That was the whole point. Because if he turned fully into a wolf, it'd have a wolf penis. That's an easy answer.
If you remember,
and it's our prudishness that doesn't show it in art that he would be like.
If you remember almost 2 years ago when we did our topic for the podcast on shapeshifters, we talked about how there's a difference between people who turn into like half human, half whatever, and people who turn into straight animals. That's 2 different things.
2 different forms of it.
I don't remember that.
Therianthropy.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I remember it.
Okay.
So I mean, I think you could be both. You can turn into full fucking dog, or you can turn into half dog, half person.
Okay, but what if you turn?
But that's higher up, according to Laurel K. Hamilton.
What if you turn into something bigger than you and you eat, and then you shrink back to your normal size?
What if you're proportionately full? So whatever full was in that giant one, you come back and you got like a Big Mac belly.
The spare tire.
Yeah, you're proportionately full. If you were 89% full, when you come back, you'll be 89% full.
I see what you're saying. But then where does that extra meat go? Where does it go?
That is what I've been trying to ask.
Where
does the extra meat go?
There is a dimension somewhere where
I just paid so much for a fucking Keanu T-rib, and I'll be damned.
I'm going to tell you right now where it goes.
Where?
Remember the Play-Doh toy that you smushed the Play-Doh and it came out the other end as like a snake? That's where it goes. You shrunk down, it all just came out the other end.
I think that there's a dimension.
You think you poop it out as you're shifting?
I think
that means that the anal cavity would be the last to transform.
Yes.
God, you imagine if you haven't digested it yet and you're just shoving meat and bone out.
Oh,
like, that's what I'm saying. I like Santosh is saying you go from 89% to 89%, and that there's a dimension.
But then you got to come up with where does the rest of the food go?
I'm fucking trying to tell you, Josh. Shut up.
Out.
There is a dimension where it magically goes, and there's all this food that's undigested, that all this meat and bone just fills, and that's where Sasquatch go at night to feed. Good night, everybody.
Those fields of bone and terror.
Yep.
That's what the real Field of Dreams was based off of.
Yes. If you eat it, it will poop.
Yeah. It's 10-10, make a wish.
Don't we have a
I wish to not be talking about poop anymore.
We had a guy for a minute that said he was a human cryptid or whatever that was going to be on the show. Can we email him and ask him?
Yeah, I don't remember what happened to that guy.
I don't either, but I really want to ask him what happened.
I thought he flaked on a couple of appointments that you set up.
No, he if I remember correctly, he had a lot of requirements. Like he had to do it only on a certain platform, and we had to be able to discuss.
Oh, he wanted us to do it on Discord. That's what it was. Yeah, and we're like, we're not set up for that. So.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, so I will leave it at that.
Well, if you leave it at that.
I think that was a fun discussion. So
in keeping with our middle topic, if you don't share this video, then
you're cursed. You're cursed. Like like this podcast is so inescapable that you will do everything you can to help it out, or you will be punished by yourself.
Yeah.
Evil eye.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm
Mono figure.
I'm going to go the other route. For every 25 people you share, every 25 people you share the video to,
a t-shirt gets its wings.
You'll receive riches in the afterlife. How about that?
Ooh, you're gonna have to come through with some otherworldly debt. I ain't making no promises to nobody.
It's all energy at the end of the day, guys.
Yeah,
it is. It is. It's
you get out what you put in, and so that's why if
big
you eat
cryptid
a cow,
energy.
That's why if you eat a cow when you're a werewolf, it just comes right out the other end.
Yep.
All right.
Like a Play-Doh toy.
Like a Play-Doh toy. And I'm going to find a video of that and put it at the end of this video.
You should. It's the Play-Doh hair. It's
I would like you to find
spaghetti.
One of a werewolf twisting, and as it twists, it's pushed out.
It's like
a tube.
It's like a washcloth. It's like you're just wringing it out.
Yeah.
You know,
I gotta go.
Or like a toothpaste tube. You know,
or it becomes that ectoplasm that's left behind. Like how some wolf transfer, or some were ones have that viscous fluid that they talk about.
It becomes the webbing for spiders.
It does.
And silkworms.
Good night, everybody.
All right, yeah.
Have we made it weird enough to stop yet? We can keep going.
I mean, I mean, I don't know where else to go from here other than to say good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.